Hi, this is Lisa Milkovich with the Milkovich team, and today is Thursday, Real Estate Topic Thursday. Thank you for tuning in. Today we want to talk about the importance of earnest money. So earnest money is written into the contract as a way to show the seller how serious you are about buying the home. We like to say it's a way to differentiate yourself without paying more. So in the contract, it's written, and in a normal contract where you're not competing with other buyers, it's typically 2 to 5%, depending on what market you are buying in. If you are buying in a market where you're competing with other buyers, it can go as high as 10% or even higher. So it really depends on where you're buying, on how much earnest money you will put. But the earnest money goes towards the buyer's down payment or their closing costs. So it's held at escrow. Escrow is a non-biased third party that transfers the money, holds the money, records the buyers as the new owners at the end. It's actually where the buyers go in and sign their loan documents if they have a loan. So the money is held at escrow, and we identify how is it deposited in the contract. So contractually, it says you must deliver it within 2 business days, whether it's being delivered to your buyer's agent and then they are delivering it to escrow. If it goes in that route, we have 2 days to collect it and 3 business days to deliver it to escrow. If it goes directly to escrow, then contractually it needs to be delivered within 2 business days. And the direct deposit to escrow is really the trend of how earnest money is being delivered these days. And what has recently become very popular, especially with the COVID, is an app. So most of the main escrow companies, they actually offer an app where they give detailed instructions on how to download their specific app. The buyer writes out their earnest money check to the escrow company. They take a picture and they securely deliver it by the app. So that's become very popular. Another popular way is called a wire transfer. And because of wire fraud, there is a lot of security that goes into the instructions for a wire transfer. So one of the main companies that we work with is CW Title, and they will not even give the directions for a wire transfer over the phone or email. They actually overnight the instructions to the buyer. They're that secure about the instructions. And a wire transfer is set up through your bank. You cannot do online banking. Online banking is called an ACH deposit, and they do not accept it that way. It has to be where you go into your bank and you give them those specific wire instructions. The importance of earnest money is however it's identified on the contract. So if you say I'm writing a check, you have to deliver it that way or you are out of contract. So let's say the contract was written and you were thinking, I'm going to do a wire transfer. That's how we wrote the contract. And then you decided to use the escrows app instead. Well, we need to do an addendum and change the contract to say the delivery method is through the escrow app. Because however the contract is written, in order to be protected by the contract, we have to follow the contract. So if you deliver it other than how the contract identifies, you are actually in default of the contract. So we are always very concerned about all important dates and following the contract to the T, because we always make sure our buyers are protected by the contract. If you are doing a home inspection, so if your contract was written where you're doing a home inspection or getting a loan, if you were to terminate on the home inspection, let's just hypothetically say some big problem is found and you decide you don't want to buy the house anymore, you would get that earnest money back. Once you're beyond the home inspection, that financing contingency protects your earnest money all the way through closing. So as long as you make a good faith effort of getting the loan and you're staying in contract by making loan application within the first 5 days, if you were to lose your job right before closing, you would be protected by that financing contingency and you would get your earnest money back. That's kind of a normal market where you're not competing. In the more competitive neighborhoods where you have to compete with other buyers, one of the ways that makes your offer more competitive is if you take those contingencies away, so your earnest money is not protected. So if your earnest money is not protected and you don't buy the house, then the seller gets that earnest money for you defaulting. The contract states that they cannot get more than 5% of the purchase price, but sometimes in very competitive offers, you may deposit that earnest money as a non-refundable deposit. If you did something like that in the contract, you're not limited to that 5% on the seller side. So there's a lot that goes into really just earnest money and the deposit of it. And we just always want to make sure that you're in contract so that you're protected by the contract. So thank you for tuning in and hearing our thoughts on earnest money. Make it a great day.